the stereotypical like dating or like e-dating game couples. And two things come to mind, right? First, you have like regular games, like the ones I've been playing, like MMOs and stuff, like WoW and stuff. And there's something very specific that I'm going to get to that comes from stuff like that. And then you have like the Wolf Boys and Wolf Girls in VRChat. Okay. Now, I want to focus on the first part I'm going to say, and that is going to be people incredibly reducing their standards. And the one thing I think of specifically when I say lowering standards is like the most common thing I see is you have an e-girl who is e-dating this guy who uses female avatars, right? And to me it's like where how does this work? Because like in a game like VRChat, you know, it's much more immersive, it's much more personal, it's more in your face. And obviously, you know what people do with these avatars. So it's like, it makes me think like this woman is like confusing herself. Like this is like a lesbian and just happens to be dealing with like the guy personality or something like that. Like, I don't know how it works, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe she's bisexual, just like all the women seem to be. Like, we have a rule in VRChat that every woman is gay or bi, like every single one. Also, they're all furries or artists, or furry artists, you know? Seems to be like that. Or just total e-thoughts. Anyway, I don't know why I thought of this today. I think it's because I saw it recently and it just triggered me, as it always does. It was just it was some generic e-girl, you know, very boring, no personality. And she was like cuddling up with some e-boy who he was like talking, so I knew he was a dude. But he was using this like half naked girl avatar, so it makes you think. I'm like, is she attracted to the avatar? I mean, she's sitting there like cuddling with it in front of the mirror and shit. So I'm like, what does that make her? Is she being connected to the person behind the headset, or is she like connected to the avatar? I think it's a little bit of both. So it makes me believe like the quote unquote physical aspect has to at least make her a little bit like lesbian, right? And then if she's trying to like genuinely date a dude, then that would make her bisexual. So I don't know why this is a thing. Here, imagine the reverse. Tell me if you've ever seen this, because I've never seen it once in my whole life. You have e-boy in male avatar dating e-girl in male avatar. Who's seen that?
No.
I have never once seen this. It is
Never.
always the opposite. So it's like, think about how weird that would be, right? Think about how you, as a straight male, would feel if your e-girl looked like a dude in the game, specifically one that's so personal like this. Would you cuddle with the male avatar in front of the mirror? Because I sure as hell wouldn't. Now you see, I am always under so much scrutiny because I make this argument where it's like, well, if you do stuff with these girl avatars, even if they're guys behind the headsets, it's not gay, right? But then you think about what I just said, and things finally start making a little sense, you know? Because if you straight guys are going to tell me that you wouldn't cuddle with the e-girl in front of the mirror in your guy avatar, then you're kind of implying that that's gay. And I'd have to agree with you. It is gay because like you're cuddly wuddly with a male with an avatar, you know. Like, yes, there's a girl voice and like a girl behind the headset, but you don't see them. If you guys do the inevitable, like, you know, erping, that's completely gay. If you get off to erping with the male avatar, you're gay. That's it. There's no other way around it. So what about the opposite? You know, you get a guy who uses a girl avatar, and then you get off to that. Well, technically, as I've said a million times, technically that's not gay. There is a difference between doing certain actions and then forming actual relationships. There's a big difference there. It's that simple. So yeah, for all you e-daters out there, I'd like some, I'd like some like some sense to be made of this situation I find myself dealing with. It's the most cringe shit I've ever seen. I used to play WoW, and there was this specific couple where it was like a girl, always in like girl characters, and then the dude's always in like girl characters as well. It's like it's so lame. Like, are these women Like, have they reduced their standards so low that they're okay with their men looking like women? It boggles my freaking mind, man. I'll never understand it. I swear to God, I'll never understand it. It makes no sense to me. Because all these men, they wouldn't be doing the same thing. If they're e-girl or, like, using male characters, they wouldn't accept that. But the girls accept it when the guys use girl characters and avatars. So it's like, it must be a low standards thing. Because when you think about, I mean, these e-daters anyway, I mean, if they're dating online, they probably have extremely low standards anyway. They're probably fat, ugly, covered in acne, social outcasts. And I covered this in a previous sermon, but generally the e-daters are like that anyway. If you can't get them IRL, there might be something wrong with you. So I'm going to assume that is correct for most of these pathetic relationships. And it shows when there's a relationship like this, where there's like cross-gendering going on. It absolutely shows and is quite evident. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Just rant a little bit on how much I hate it and why it's a thing. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Why do they do it? Women, stop having low standards. We could talk about like the e-boys, like the VRChat couples, like the stereotypical trusted user, wolf boy, wolf girl, full body, sitting in front of the mirror. So that couple, like I just said, they're probably really ugly or fat IRL, no lives, social rejects, so they find it necessary to e-date instead of date IRL. But if we're talking about standards, not only does the woman have low standards because it's just a generic loser e-boy, but these particularly loser e-boys are lowering their standards and accepting these little e-thoughts, These little half-naked little virtual prostitutes, These little degenerate scumbags with no personalities. Listen, e-daters, I'm talking to you, okay? I'm talking to you. Raise your standards. Just do it. Stop accepting trash. Stop going for the low-hanging fruit. Like, you could do better than that, for God's sake. I know you might be some overweight loser IRL, but for God's sake, man, you don't have to settle for e-thoughts, and you don't have to settle for pathetic little white knights and the like. And for all you women out there, if I ever see you date guys and girl avatars, I'm coming after you directly. I'm going to ignore that guy, and I'm going to roast the hell out of you. I'm going to completely emasculate you in front of your little pathetic pussy boyfriend who's not even a man. Let's be real. That's not a man. He's just some porn-addicted boy playing as his waifu. And you're okay with that, ladies. You're okay with that. You're actually okay with that. I think, there was a girl on our server recently, Kazuto's ex. They might even be dating now. Her name was, like, Kyoto? I think that was her name. Kyoto, right? She was, like, dating Toast at one point. And I don't know if any of y'all know who Toast is, but Toast is the super autistic little retard who screeches in his microphone, denies logic, just insults, and he's just really annoying. Now, obviously, he uses anime girl avatars all the time. So, here we have this stereotypical couple I was referring to earlier, with, like, girl and girl model, guy and girl model. So what does that make Kyoto? Is she attracted to the avatar? I don't know. Is she like all the other girls in VRChat, and she's bisexual? Probably. But all I'm saying is that she has extremely low standards. Not only is this guy a massive loser, but he's a huge weeb who runs around using female avatars because he's a bitch. And then obviously Toast had extremely low standards for getting such a boring, no personality having e-girl. Very, very boring. All she does is sit in front of the mirror. I don't really care, but I just want to say, people really should take care of themselves. They should do better for themselves. Just have some standards. It's not hard. So yeah, there we go. What would you think? Pretty good, right?
One question.
Yeah.
One question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think VRChat itself could be considered a sophisticated dating site, dating app?
There's potential, because this has more, like, interaction than any sort of other e-dating. Because, like, say if people meet up on, like, a website or a game, and assuming they're cross-country, what do? Like, to get intimate, what do? Like, let's be honest, they do stuff on the phone or video calls. So you could
Yeah.
do that and be really weird. Or you could come in this game where you could get like some virtual adaptations and you can actually quote unquote feel closer to them. So it's tough. I think it's lame either way if you take it so seriously, but that's my take on it. That's my take on it. I wouldn't recommend. Oh, this I should say this for anyone watching. I'm glad you said that because I got to give these guys a warning. Like for any of you watching who are interested in e-dating, here's what you're gonna have to deal with, right? And this is I'm not even going to say any names, but there are certain people who want to date people online so they can move out of their country. Lol. But see, here's the problems you're facing. Yeah, here's some problems that you particular people are facing. So you're going to be giving up everything you have. And I told this specific person this many times. You're going to be giving up everything you know, everything you're familiar with, including like your area, your jobs, your schools, your friends, your family, and you're going to move miles and miles away to be with some potential rapist, some potential murderer, some potential alcoholic abuser. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Depends on the country, but yeah,
I'm just
pretty much right.
saying, whether you're going from, like, let's just pick a random place, like the UK to America, or, maybe like New Zealand to America, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, some African country.
I'm just saying, I think we're familiar with the story of a certain couple, yeah, some girl from New Zealand or Australia moving to the US. And it didn't last very long, did it? didn't last very long, huh? I hear the girl got abused, potentially impregnated and beaten, but this person is a liar, kind of. So who knows if that was actually true? But what I do know is that the relationship did not last, and they dated for how long? Like a year or two, maybe longer. But it didn't last. So these are just some of the problems that you e-daters are going to have to deal with. You're getting serious with the whammon online, just know that one of you is going to have to move. Or you're going to have to take hours, like long trips, to see each other every so often. I don't think it's worth it. Why not just date someone IRL? Instead of losing everything for like a potential failure. Even if it's super successful, you now have no job, you're not near your college or school. All of your friends are gone. All of your family is gone. If this person you moved in with just happens to ditch you or something, you're alone. If they kick you out of his house or her house, you're all alone. You're completely fucked. There's nothing you can do. You're all alone in this new world, and no one can help you. You will die sad and miserable. The end. So just know that, e-daters, these are the risks you take. It's a risky business. I recommend being like a real gamer like myself, and if you're going to even attempt that kind of thing, just keep it strictly virtual. Have no intention of meeting IRL. Just live a good, healthy life in the country, your state of birth, and stick to what you know and stick to what you're good at, and just, you could just do some VR dating, Get yourself a couple of mutes. It's not gay, you can do whatever you want. Anyway, I think I'm done rambling for now. I think I'm done rambling. Okay, I'm going to end stream now, so I'll just say a quick prayer for all the e-daters. I pray that these sad little e-daters will open their eyes, they will get some dignity and stop being so depressing and sad and just raise their standards. I really hope and pray that they will just better themselves and they will realize that they can date IRL. Doesn't matter how you look or how you act, there's a man or woman out there for everybody. So just don't forget that even as lame as you are, you can still be loved. Amen. Good night, everyone. See you later. I'm ending stream.